Well. Brian Schottenheimer on this hump day is talking about all things Chicago Bears, moving on to the next game, the Dallas Cowboys defense, offense, all kinds of things. But nevertheless, it is time to let go of that New York Giants game, and it is on to the Chicago Bears. Let's talk Cowboys. We live. Let's go. Yeah, we done with the New York Giants. No use in crying over spilt milk. We got to win. It's time to move on to the Chicago Bears. It's time to make some improvements. I believe the Cowboys will book it. The Cowboys are beating the Giants. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, don't forget to like as you come in, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so the next time we post another video or go live. And we are live. And make sure every opportunity you get, you hit that HYPE button, and let's push this thing out into the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, please do. We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now, we're going to keep it pretty simple. Y'all already know what I do by now. I have to go teach Wednesday night Bible study. It's no secret. So I will be teaching Wednesday night Bible study. So we're going to be getting out of here probably around 5:45. But I still wanted to bring us at least an hour and 30 minutes of Cowboys content today, as we are going to get ready for a huge day tomorrow. We are going to do, of course, our regularly scheduled show at 4:30, Thursday night football. We're doing Cowboys After Dark. We're going to be doing the comparison starting tomorrow between the Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboys, and we will be talking about tomorrow some of the Dallas Cowboys defensive woes. Don't you worry, but I do think we're going to be okay. So, today, I don't think we're going to get to all this, but if we do, this is the lineup. Brian Schottenheimer's press conference. Never a dull moment with Brian Schottenheimer. We're going to acknowledge Brandon Aubrey. Brandon Aubrey got an award this week. We got to talk about it. The man's about to get paid. And then, if we have the time, we'll look at something that Matty Dubs is talking about with the Dallas Cowboys offense. So, that's the show. Shotty Presser, Brandon Aubrey, Cowboys offense with Matty Dubs. Let's go. All right. Appreciate y'all rocking with me on this Wednesday. Let's get a quick roll call. Hold on just a second. All right.
Yes! Here we go!
Let's get this roll call in. My right-hand man, Daniel M, up in here. What is going on, Daniel M? Let's get...
Yo, G, bless him.
Douglas Harrison, welcome to the congregation. What's going on with you? Dominique Pittman, there he is. What on? He said, there goes that man. What's going on, Dominique Pittman? Good to see you. Derek G up in this thing. What's going on? It is the real estate vet. What's going on with you? Let's get this thing going. Robert Thomas up in here. Let's go. Yo, he said, dig sup. C-Base. He said, guess who back? Let's go. Dolores, Betty Boo. Poobie D up in this thing. Got my back. What up, Poobie D? Marlon Dillon up in here. Lavon Colin. James Moss, what up with you? Robert Simmons, that man. What up, Robert Simmons? Israel Dobson, how about them Cowboys? My unofficial co-host, Angie the Rebel Chicks in this thing. She driving. What's going on? Keek up in here. What up? Juice Maine. What up, Juice Maine? Juice Maine. They don't know about that M-A-N-E. Juice Maine up in this thing. What up? Providence and Patriots. What's going on? Yes, sir. I said the same thing. It's spoiled milk. Let's go. Brian Worley. Let's get this thing going. Arthur Roberts. John Jones, he said, what up, G Money? I said, it's a New Jack City. Let's go. Walter Brown up in this thing. Caitlin Lockhart, what's going on? It is Ice Cold Cowboy.
Yo, G, bless him.
And he is Ice Cold. Ice Cold, what up? We them boys. What's going on? Sub-Zero Prime up in here. The regular, Davion Wallace. What's going on with you? Sean Springer, what up with you? Walter Brown, Devin Mills, here we go. What up? Clowney with a push-up. The middle means somebody's gonna get some sacks on the other side. No doubt about it. Kenneth Montgomery, Demetrius Adams, Kimbo 88, what's going on? How you doing? Arthur Roberts, let's go. Terry Tatum, what up? Roy Pleasant, what's going on? Albert Dowdy, Intelligent Savage is in the crib. What is going on, Intelligent Savage? Brandon Cup, let's get this thing going. All right, I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. All right, let's get this thing going. So, of course, we're going to get the Brian Schottenheimer press conference. Of course, we're going to get that. I mean, it's a regular thing, of course, with this, now that it's being the regular season, we're going to be hearing Brian Schottenheimer pretty much almost every day. So, let's see here. Brian Schottenheimer's press conference from today. Let's check out what Brian Schottenheimer had to say.
But is there a little personal significance?
Why? Yeah. There we go. Too quiet, man. You guys are scaring me. What's going on?
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Thought process today about practice and why you had a light practice today.
Is that me? Is that my mic? Maybe somebody else's. Yeah, biggest thing, looking at the numbers from the game, and anytime you play 70 minutes of kick-ass football and back and forth and running and stuff like that, I think we have a responsibility to kind of trust the numbers and see what they say. And I told the guys from day one, if they go all out for us, we'll take care of them. So today was that type of day. We still got all the reps that we needed, did not lose a single rep. We just did it more of a walk-through tempo to help them get their bodies back a little bit like how you would kind of a short week, because it was a long game and a physical game. And but tomorrow we'll be back to running.
Tomorrow, will you be in pads or I know it's
We'll be in
Thursday.
shells. Yeah, we'll be in shells, yep.
One more. How do you do the delicate balance? Because you guys put a lot of zone in the first 2 weeks of the season, and your corners might be more comfortable in man. How do you draw that balance to say, our guys are better in man in some situations, but this is what Flus does?
Yeah, no, it's not what Flus does. I mean, we want to be multiple. We're going to be multiple, and we're going to do different things. And we play man, and we play zone. And if there's one thing you could look at for us is, we were good at both at times, and we were poor at both at times. And again, the word I use, consistency. We just weren't very consistent. And but we have plenty of calls where we can get in guys' faces and things like that. But the multiplicity that we want to have, that a Matt Eberflus's defense wants to have, I think is really important.
Hold on, Brian. We're not letting you get away with that, Brian. 100% zone defense against the Philadelphia Eagles. 100% zone. The Cowboys ran on Sunday 97 or it's either 96 or 97% zone. That is not multiple looks. And let me pull something up real quick. Okay. The Cowboys ran 96 to 97% zone last week. I was trying to see how many, The Cowboys defense was on the field 64 plays. If you ran zone 97% of the time, you said you want to be multiple. If you ran zone 96 or 97% of the time, that means that you only played whatever else you played. Only 3 plays the entire game. Let that sink in. I'm rolling with you, Brian. I'm rolling with Brian. I understand what Brian is doing. Brian is keeping the camaraderie. Brian doesn't want to throw Matt Eberflus under the bus. Doesn't want to throw his defense under the bus. I get what Brian is doing. But they have not done what they're saying as in multiples. They haven't done that yet. They haven't done multiples yet. Even when you look at the Cowboys personnel, I think the Cowboys is running, a lot of 11 personnel? 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, 1 back. Not running a lot of multiples. I know we're saying this, but we're just not quite doing it yet. And especially on defense. You can't say you're running multiples and you're running 100%? 100% zone against the Eagles and then come back the next week 97% zone? That right there, I'm rolling with you, Brian, but bro, you got to give us a little bit more. You got to give us a little bit more on this, because I do think as much as people are ripping the Cowboys defense, I think we have to maybe be somewhat honest with ourselves too. Eberflus is running a defense that doesn't fit his personnel. I don't think it fits the personnel. I just don't. I think Matt Eberflus is going to have to come to grips with what he has. He's got to come to grips with what he has. Love it, like it, or hate it, Trayvon Diggs is probably a better man-to-man. He is a better man-to-man cornerback. I believe DaRon Bland, who might play this week, according to Jerry Jones, DaRon Bland plays better man-to-man. I would imagine Kyer Elam probably plays better man-to-man. The zone defenses, man, you just have to be very careful with that. Because I think it's a kind of defense that, because you're always passing players off once they get out of a certain zone. Well, when somebody goes and do what they did to the Cowboys, I'm telling you, this is elementary what they did. They went and looked at the Philadelphia Eagle tape, and they clearly saw that the seams were wide open. While Jalen Hurts was not going to take the chance on throwing those passes, Russell Wilson was playing with house money, and he went for broke. And he went for those seam throws. We're not doing, and you think about what we're not doing. It's almost like we're afraid. It's almost like we are afraid of the wide receivers that we faced so far. Because you got to think about this. You're already running zone. And so since you're running zone, where are the jams at the line? Where's the bump and run? Where's the physicality on the defensive backs at the line of scrimmage? Because if you're going to let Malik Neighbors get right off the line of scrimmage and don't even touch him, I promise you, he's running past Trayvon Diggs. I promise you, the other wide receivers running past Elam. Then we got them. They also got inside. The one thing that you don't want a wide receiver to get on you if you are a cornerback, if you can help it, but if you're not going to get any kind of physicality at the line, he gets to go where he wants to go. He takes inside on you. What are you doing? Nothing. He's running past you. Now you're looking for the safety to not be the safety. No, you're wanting now the safety to be the cornerback because you're basically passing it on him to coverage. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. It's a reason why they're the safeties, because they're not cover men. They're not cover men. They're safeties. You want them far enough back to where if there's a deep pass thrown, then they can get back there and defend it. But you got Malik Neighbors running past the cornerbacks. So what is Dono supposed to do? Does he immediately, every time they run out, he just immediately runs to the end zone and stand back there? Somebody says, well, still, he's not supposed to get behind the safety. If Malik Neighbors comes off the line of scrimmage full speed, unless Donovan Wilson, the moment the whistle blows, starts running backwards, he has no chance. I know we're killing Donovan Wilson. I think they're asking him to do something that I hate to say it, I just think they're asking him to do something that he's probably not capable of. And if you're going to ask him to do it, then understand the consequences that come along with it. So basically, you want him to not let anybody get behind him. So let him go back there in the end zone and stand up. And then when they break a route off, and start running the post, well, it's still going to be a long completion because where's somebody in the middle of the field? I'm just telling us, we're asking, I really think Eberflus is asking his defense to do something that doesn't fit him. I really think that's where we are. Tell it like it is. He kind of says something right here. Daniel Lim says the same thing to an extent. He says they have got to stop playing zone so much. Exactly. They're killing themselves with this stuff. It's not just you have to put players in a position to succeed. And you can ask people to do what they're not, what they're capable of, what they're not accustomed to, but you're going to suffer the consequences. Tell it like it is. Said Flus is known for sticking to a coverage, then switching it up. He's baiting quarterbacks and OCs. Maybe he'll switch it up this week. I'd like to see it. Tell it like it is. I would definitely like to see it because that is definitely not what he's doing. That is not what he's doing. So I think he's going to really have to understand, and this is why I'm not panicking. I think Eberflus is trying to learn what his personnel is. Now it's game 3. Now he's had 2 good snapshots to see what he has. This is a good look. You've had 2 weeks to see that your defense probably doesn't play zone well. I think if he stops playing zone so much, even the linebackers won't look as lost. I don't think the linebackers will look as lost either. So I think you just got to stop playing zone so much. And again, this is not, exonerating anybody, but I just think we need to just kind of say, hey, hold on, what is going on here? Just ask them to do stuff I don't think they can do. And again, you talk about being physical. Well, you're not being physical if you're not going to play man-to-man sometimes. You're not being physical if you're not going to put your hands on the receivers. Bump them at the line at least. Get them off their mark. Redirect them. Don't let them just run inside of you. It's over. It's over for you if you're just going to let wide receivers run. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Once receivers get on the inside of you, unless you are a freak cornerback, you're done. Your only hope is to dislodge the ball when they catch it because they're going to get it in their hands. If the throw is right, they're getting it in their hands. Your only hope is to dislodge it. So I really do think he's going to have to go back and reevaluate what he has. And, hey, man, maybe he just need to start letting these guys play some more man. Let Trayvon Diggs, Trayvon Diggs is not a burner, but he's a big cornerback. Let Trayvon Diggs get his hands on him. Jam him at the line, get his hands on him. Force him outside. Stay in phase with him. But if you're just going to let them run right at your cornerback, I don't understand that mentality. You're just going to let them run at the cornerbacks. They're going to burn them every time. They're going to burn them every time. Unless your pass rush, we got Jadeveon Clowney coming this week. We'll see what happens. Unless you get your pass rush going, then then they won't have as much time anyway to let those wide receivers, let those routes develop, because you will have the quarterback and you'll be doing whatever. But hey, they got some work to do with this. They got some work to do with this. It's just game 2. I'm not panicking. But when he says multiple, man, and you run 97, and you run zone 96, 97% of the time, bro, that ain't multiple. That ain't multiple. Running 3 plays of man-to-man or whatever else you ran, bro, I'm not looking at you as multiple. I'm looking at you as running the same thing all the time.
Still deal with us, Cowboys. Speaking on the secondary, can you talk about the communication breakdowns, and can that be fixed in 1 week? I mean, or that 2 or 3 weeks, guys get more comfortable in with doing their job, because it's about doing your job, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, the answer is yes. I think it can get fixed. Now we need to do that, and we need to put that on film. And this team, Chicago, will do a good job challenging us with their formations and the things that they do. They do a really good job, Clarence, with their personnel groupings, and 13 personnel plays like 11, and 12 personnel plays like 21, and they do a good job of that. But the answer is absolutely yes. The communication comes from Flus to the green dot. Green dot communicates to everybody. But where we got to be better is when the formation changes, and our rules have to change. Therefore, we have to share the information. And again, I thought it was a great challenge for us because our fans were loud last game. But I expect it to be much better this week.
Now, I'm a little bit confused on the communication part. And I know he can't be talking about the communication from Flus to Murray. When you're out there on the field, you don't have time. Once that ball is snapped, what communication could you really be having? Trayvon Diggs, for example, is the cornerback. They get inside position on him. So is he screaming on the field? Donovan Wilson, move backwards. I mean, what is he screaming? This to me, kind of studying Matt Eberflus's defense. I'm really wondering, in the grand scheme of things, I'm wondering if Matt Eberflus is really comfortable with the personnel that he has, or is he really comfortable with the talent of the personnel that he has? Because everything I've read about Matt Eberflus's defense, it's not fitting. Matt Eberflus's defenses are actually predicated upon being simple. That's what his defenses are predicated upon. Simplicity. He doesn't want to give his defense a whole bunch of things to do. He gives each position one thing to do. And then they do that thing, and then everything else, it's on them. They react to the game. They pay attention to what's going on in the game, and that's at least how I have understood this man's defense. I'll see if I can pull it up as we listen to some more Brian Schottenheimer in a moment. But for whatever reason, and it's really making me wonder. So Brian said he wants to be multiple. I wonder if that's his idea or Matt Eberflus's idea. Because Matt's defense is, one, they haven't been multiple. Two, it seems like the entire defense is just not comfortable with running this man's defense, and I'm confused. People said Mike Zimmer's defense was complicated. That's what they said. Mike Zimmer's defense, it's complicated. Dan Quinn's defense, not so much. But Zimmer's, complicated. And this is why we got to Thanksgiving. And Michael Parsons said, yeah, man, we finally got the defense. It's Thanksgiving. So it's making me wonder, where is this coming from? This just doesn't seem characteristic of Matt Eberflus. I'm wondering, is this Brian Schottenheimer saying be multiple? But if he's saying it, it's not happening. If he's saying it, it's not happening. So it makes me wonder, either Matt Eberflus is not comfortable with the personnel, or the personnel is not comfortable with Matt Eberflus and whatever system that he's running. I'm telling you, man, zone defenses, I don't know. Zone defenses, to me, it requires discipline. I mean, it requires discipline to play in these zone defenses. It requires discipline. People, you got to be disciplined. You got to know what you're doing. Know what the next guy's doing. I mean, I just don't know, man, if it's too much for him. And it makes me wonder if some of this also is, I don't even know if Eberflus has adjusted to the fact that he don't have Parsons on the team anymore. You have to make that adjustment. You have to know that there's a certain way you're going to have to play without Parsons. I mean, you really have to know this. I mean, none of us are dumb. Parsons is gone. We all understand it and we've accepted it. But if I'm a defensive coordinator, I got to figure that into whatever I'm doing too. I can't just play like it's going to be business as usual. It's not going to be business as usual. And I think this is another place where he hasn't adjusted. It's like the defense has not adjusted to him not being here. There are some things now that you're not going to be able to do that he's not here. So you're just going to have to accept that it is what it is and just move on. But I don't know. I'm just struggling with a lot of this stuff that they're saying. I'm just struggling with this stuff because, like, wait a minute. And then, he's like, yeah, we can fix it in a week. Well, I guess you can. I guess you can fix it in a week. I don't know if it's going to be executed in a week. But I can tell you this. This is the game that they need to start really getting stuff together, because the Green Bay game, it's going to be all hands on deck. You got to get some stuff. You really got to get the defense in a solid place this week. So I don't know. Is maybe he afraid of what he has at the cornerback position? He don't think they're capable of man-to-man. I mean, I'm just wondering. Davion Wallace said that he would like more of a 60-40 split. I mean, boy, that'd be great. Boy, that would be great. But right now, man, it's crazy running 97% zone. Boy, that's crazy. That is crazy. David says, gee, if they play a zone man concept once in a while, we would be good. They got to change it up. Yeah, I agree with you. Eric Bourne said, Wanye Thomas, man, I don't understand why him nor Marquise Bell. I just struggle with this stuff as I'm watching certain players struggle, and we're talking about competitiveness, and then we're watching Maurice Leafau go from 6 snaps to 8 snaps or 6 snaps to 10 snaps. I'm watching James Houston go from 10 snaps to 15 snaps. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. We're saying this is about competition, and we got guys who, in a small sample size, are balling out their mind, and we're saying, yeah, but they still not doing good enough. Okay. I'm still rocking with Brian. I just wonder if some of this is a little bit political. I wonder if some of this is a little bit political, as in, okay, I want to see more, where it's not necessarily Brian saying he want to see more of something. I'm wondering if there are other voices saying, yeah, but we want to see more of this. Man, I'm struggling with all of this. I'm hoping that it's going to evolve into the right thing. But we really need to, at this point, we just really need to start focusing on putting our best players on the field. Putting the best players on the field, and that's it. C-Base said he's absolutely opposed to playing man coverage and blitzing downhill, and that bothers the heck out of me. Yeah, hey, C-Base, it's the only conclusion you can come to. But C-Base, isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy that Matt Eberflus' defense in just 2 games has been the most successful when he does blitzes? Now, I'm not a rocket scientist. somebody should be noticing that when he does make the adjustment, the defense looks way better. Way better when he blitzes. Way better when he gets more aggressive. But for whatever reason, sometimes you got to be careful trying to copy somebody too hard. I just wonder if some of this is wanting to do something that you're not capable of or facilitated for. Everybody wants to drop 4 and rush 7. I mean, we're acting like this is something revolutionary. Everybody wants to do what Vic Fangio does, but everybody can't do what Vic Fangio does because 1, they're not Vic Fangio, and 2, they don't have the personnel. Everybody can't rush 4 and drop 7. Everybody can't do it. So when you can't do it, you do what you can do. So again, boy, you got a lot to fix in a week, but again, if you're going to do it, let this be the week that you really start making some aggressive moves towards the right thing.
Is it communicated? Is there a quarterback in the secondary, or who's communicate the calls and whose job?
There's it's everybody's. The nickel does a lot, so the nickel does a lot. I thought, again, Reddy Stewart did a great job with that. Both safeties do a lot. Both Dono and Malik do a lot. But it starts with the linebackers, and both K9 and Jack are great with it. But again, when you're an offensive mind and you see the multiple looks that you have a choice to make, because Chicago's that way defensively. I can play stagnant, or I can try to challenge them, and most times you try to challenge them. And New York did a nice job of challenging us, and like I said, I expect the communication will be much better this week. It needs to be for us to play the style of defense we want to play.
Now, I want you to catch something that he said. New York did a good job of challenging us. We haven't done a good job of challenging other teams. We let it get down to the most crucial moment, and then we'll start challenging. Eberflus needs to spread that out throughout the game rather than waiting till the end of the game and it's crunch time. He has to stop waiting till the end of the game. They have got to find opportune moments from the opening of the game to get aggressive, to challenge the team. We're sitting back watching the teams, it's kind of like the Philadelphia game. We were basically saying our front 4 is going to get to you, and our back 7, we're just going to sit back and wait on everything to come to us, and we're going to stop it. That ain't going to work. New York Giants, it's pretty obvious we did the same thing. It's like we're saying we're a team that we're not defensively. Yeah, we are loaded on defense with all these superstars. And maybe that's what they think. Because Brian Schottenheimer always says we have a great roster. We have a very talented roster. So maybe they think that they're so talented that they're just sitting back and saying, bring it to us and we'll stop you. Our front 4 will get you, and if they don't get you, our back 7 will stop you. No, you're going to have to just say, hey, man, we're not maybe what we want to be right now, so we got to get a little bit more aggressive. We got to start challenging the offense. We got to start taking chances. You got to take chances. Let me tell you something. Every shot you don't take is the shot that you don't make. They have got to start taking chances on defense. You got your socks burned off against the Giants anyway. So what would be the difference of sending 5 or 6 and getting burned and still getting a touchdown? What's the difference? What's the difference? If I'm going to get burned, I'm going to get burned trying to get to the quarterback. I'm going to get burned sending Malik Hooker on a safety blitz. I want to get burned sending Sanborn on a linebacker blitz. I'm going to get burned doing something aggressive rather than just sitting back on my heels, waiting on you to do whatever you're doing to me. Because again, Philadelphia Eagles, 21 points in the first half. The Giants went dog crazy on us in the second half. So we got to be we got to be aggressive. We're just going to have to accept it. We are going to have to be aggressive. And don't tell me you're physical playing 97% zone. Don't tell me you're physical. Physicality starts up front, but physicality also should be translating on your corners. Trayvon Diggs is a big cornerback. You have got to let Trayvon Diggs, if you want him to be even halfway successful, you got to let him get his hands on the receivers. You have to let him do it, because if not, again, every week, somebody in this league, because this is how this league is built, every week somebody in this league going to run past you. Don't let them run past you. C-Bay said you can be disciplined and still get flagged just like you can be undisciplined and flag heavily. With our team, which our team has been both. Yeah, I agree with that. Katharina Kids, what's going on? Kevin Edwards said exactly, G, you're on point. On point, bro. Bump those receivers. Let them know they're hitting them, hitting and holding. And if they get away, that's what they do to us. Bro, exactly. You think about you think about how people are playing CeeDee Lamb. Oh, yeah, they're going to get their hands on CeeDee Lamb. They are going to get their hands on CeeDee Lamb when they play us. They don't mind getting their hands on George Pickens. They're going to try and bump and run our receivers because they know how good they are. We got to start following suit. We'll see if they'll fix that this week. Kenneth Montgomery, he said, gee, they got to change that coverage from time to time. Keep them off guard. Exactly. That's why I'm saying go man to man. Go man to man. Man zone. Bump and run. Pick a receiver and say, hey, guess what we're going to do to you? Hey, Malik Neighbors, we're doubling you. Isn't it strange everybody does this to us and we don't do this stuff? We don't do it. Why don't we pick a team's receiver and say, we're taking you out the game? Yeah, we're going to take you out the game today. We got to start getting more aggressive. And it's almost like we're saying, yeah, man, we don't want to take any chances. And you still getting burned? Start taking chances. Start taking chances. You have got to start taking chances. Let me read this super chat real quick. Dominique Pittman, appreciate the super chat. He said, I can't stand a stubborn individual. That's Matt Eberflus. And Dominique, I'm wondering, listening to Brian Schottenheimer, is he kind of like, okay, I'm going to kind of let him keep kind of doing what this, and then I'll come and say something. We're going to see. I really don't know what their communication is like, but it sounds like, Brian, of course, has a lot of respect for him, as a defense coordinator. And I think he's basically just saying, okay, get it together. Because you can hear him you can hear it in his voice. I'm sure he's talking to Eberflus and he's saying, get it together. Robert Newhouse, happy birthday. Number 44 Newhouse, happy birthday. Yeah, what's good? Yes, sir. Keek, you make a very interesting point. He said you could have seen more if they played in the preseason. This is the result of resting everyone. You have to play to jail. Now, Keek, like I said yesterday, on defense, the Cowboys don't have the luxury of what they have on offense. Brian Schottenheimer isn't necessarily implementing a new system. He's kind of tweaking what was already there. Not only that, he has Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is executing this offense to a T. He doesn't have that on defense. The quarterback of the defense is supposed to be Murray, but he's brand new here. And it's not like he was with Eberflus last year. All these guys on this team, it's a new system to them, period. It's a new system. And they got all these different pieces trying to get everything together. So, well, I know they're going to get better. I don't think they're going to get better. I know they're going to get better. It's just a matter of when they get better. And so, of course, we know they're going to get better when they get Overshown and some other personnel back. We know they're going to be a lot better. But at the same time, they're going to have to be a lot more aggressive and understand. Make the adjustment for what you are not. You're better in the middle. You're not as good on the edge anymore. So now you got to make the adjustment. Mike Torres said Clowney's going to provide that edge. We've been hearing them say also not in, Michael Parsons, but we don't need one of those. We just need a solid edge. Plus the new Clowney is better at run defense, quarterback, or running back. Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney is going to help us exponentially. Exponentially, he is going to help us.
It's my understanding that players were called out in team meetings. Can you, for not doing their job, can you talk about the culture of accountability that, I can call these, we can call these guys out, and that's being done?
Yeah, it's always going to be done. It should be done in any building, in my opinion. I call myself out. I hold myself accountable when I screw things up. At the end of the first half, I didn't do a good job communicating to Dak the situation that we're in, so he throws a ball that gets completed in bounds. Is that Dak's fault? Nope, it's mine. And I took accountability for that, told the guys that. So we're going to hold each other accountable. Me holding the players accountable, a coach holding another coach accountable, equipment staff holding a player accountable. And if guys don't like it, they're probably in the wrong building, because that's the way we're going to do things, because that's the right way to do things, in my opinion.
Brian Tarch with ESPN. The way that Dak has started the season has got a lot of people saying, wow, he's playing great. In your mind, is he doing anything that he hadn't already done before, or have you seen a different level that he's played here at these first two?
No, I think he's playing how we would expect him to play. We have a high standard for Dak and the way he's supposed to perform. I think I used the word the other day. You guys asked me about him, and I think there's a confidence about him right now, which is great. But, we have him. We have a pretty lofty standard for him, and he's playing really well right now. But it's not just him. It's the line blocking for him, keeping the pass rush away, and the guys making plays for him, and that's a big part of it. This is the ultimate. I say it all the time. I'm gonna say it again, the ultimate team game. And coaches and quarterbacks and other people, kickers, they get more credit or more blame when things don't work. Or they do work, and at the end of the day, this is the ultimate team game. And, we were not very good on defense last week as a team, and we didn't start the game very well offensively as a team. And so I think, that's where I would say Dak's playing well, because he's surrounded by a good team.
With it only being 2 games in, do you go back and look at last year's games against New Orleans, last year's games against Detroit, to kind of get any more information off?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, computers now, Todd, make it so easy that you can have you guys probably have breakdowns. You guys probably have our breakdowns. PFF, Chris Collinsworth and PFF, they've made it to where everybody, I think my niece watches PFF and can get access to the all 22. Hell of a job, Ted. I don't even want it now. But, we will. Dennis Allen's a hell of a coach, man. And, again, he's what he does and the way he's multiple and things like that. You have to go back, because there's not enough information on the Cowboys, because most people in preseason play with their 7-iron. And I think that they did. Maybe they were a 5-iron in the preseason, but you got to go back and look at it, because he's going to draw on things that they did against us last year. They're going to double CeeDee Lamb. Okay, I'll put that out there right now. I know they will. DA's probably listening. That's cool. They doubled him last year. They're going to double him this year. So you have to go back and look at those things and look for trends. But I can't say it enough. DA's a hell of a coach, and it's going to be a hell of a challenge for us.
Isn't everybody double CD?
They try.
Man, let me tell you something. I understand what Brian Schottenheimer is doing. Let me tell you something. Dak Prescott is playing on. It's only been 2 games. But Dak Prescott is literally the best quarterback in the league right now. Right now. Brian Schottenheimer is downplaying this, and I totally understand what he's doing. Nah. Everybody's noticing it. Everybody out there is noticing it. Dak Prescott is absolutely balling. In every metric that can be measured and can't be measured, Dak Prescott is balling. And Dak Prescott, contrary to what anyone believes, Dak Prescott has this team on his back right now. Dak Prescott has this team on his back right now. Dak Prescott is affording their defense to get it together. If Dak Prescott wasn't playing the way that he's playing right now, Brian Schottenheimer would be the laughing stock of the league. They would be killing Brian Schottenheimer right now. And when you think about the luxury that Brian Schottenheimer has to have a quarterback like Dak Prescott as he's a rookie coach, but Dak Prescott is his quarterback. Knows the game, knows it like the back of his hand, got a receiver that he can throw without looking, he can throw to him without looking at him. That they have a connection that is incredible. Brian Schottenheimer is so blessed to have Dak Prescott. Unfortunately, we got to be real with ourselves, and I'm going to keep it, I always tell you, I'm going to keep it 100% real and subjective. Matt Eberflus don't have that no more. Michael Parsons, even though I don't think he would be doing, I don't think we would be necessarily doing any better per se. It would look better. I don't think the result would be different right now. I still think we'd be 1-1. I still think we would be. It's a possibility we would be 1-1 because even without him, we could probably be 2-0. Those were drops. It wasn't necessarily Micah because Jalen has done that to us with Micah. But at the same time, some of the stuff would look better because we're not going to sit here and be disingenuous and say that Micah Parsons wouldn't be chasing down. He wouldn't have chased down Jalen Hurts in some of those runs he tried to do in the first game, or that he wouldn't have caused a little bit maybe more havoc on Russell Wilson in the second game. We're not going to do that. When you have a player like Micah Parsons, he makes things a lot more, let me use the word easier. He makes things a lot easier for a coach, especially a coach trying to implement a scheme per se, because he just makes it easier from his athleticism standpoint. He'll just make some plays just based on his athleticism, not your scheme. Matt Eberflus don't have that luxury. Matt Eberflus don't have that luxury. Now, Jadeveon Clowney may actually this week, and especially I think the week after, once he really gets revved up, you're going to see where Matt Eberflus, what he ran these last 2 weeks, and it looked like trash, but then you're going to put Jadeveon Clowney in, and they might not even change but maybe one thing, but putting in Jadeveon Clowney, and it's going to look 100% better. They just got Matt Eberflus that piece that while he's trying to get it together, it'll look better. Because without Michael Parsons, with Matt Eberflus, because I still say I don't think he's adjusted. I don't think he's adjusted. I think they had a plan they were going to run with Michael Parsons, and Matt Eberflus said, even without Michael Parsons, we're going to run that same plan. Matt, you can't. I mean, we got to keep it real, don't we, y'all? You can't. Mike, you can't run the same plan you were going to run with Michael Parsons here. You can't, because he's not here no more. We're not going to lie to ourselves. Michael Parsons is an athletic freak. He's a very, very good player. Quick, fast, strong, powerful. He does speed up things on certain plays, depending upon how they go at him. And I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to tell a lie. I mean, the thing with Michael Parsons to me was, it wasn't on the field, it was the locker room stuff with Michael Parsons they were concerned with. But I said before, I'll say it again, it was a bad year for Michael Parsons to leave. Because I think this would have been one of his best years with what they had put around him. And I think he would have had a really, really good year because the pieces were so complimentary. And we're kind of seeing over in Green Bay. People act like Michael Parsons is tearing it up. No, Green Bay already had a great defense. And it's allowing Michael Parsons, because now he has players around him, man, it's allowing Michael Parsons to do some crazy stuff over there. He's not the only one you have to worry about in Green Bay. They got multiple players you have to worry about. It would have been the same here. Because those players, because of the attention he would have drew, those players could have, but again, we wouldn't have had Kenny Clark, so we're not gonna. It's a trade-off. But Matt Eberflus was expecting, in a scenario, that we were going to have all of these complimentary players and Michael. You don't have Michael no more. Now you got to start adjusting to the fact, okay, we got Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is clogging up the middle. We don't have the edges. The edges are not getting to where they're not performing at the level we want them to perform at yet. So since we don't have them performing, let's make an adjustment. Now we got to start blitzing. Maybe we blitz 30% of the time. Now you remember people were saying a characteristic of his defense is he rarely blitzes. Well, he's living up to it. Problem is he can't do it with the personnel he has. So he's going to have to dial it up a little bit more. Now, Brian, I'm pretty sure he ain't told him, or I guess he hasn't told him. We could tell in 2 games. But if I'm Brian in this game, I'm like, bro, hey man, I'm getting behind closed doors, and I'm just telling him, bro, you're gonna have to turn it up. Matt, I know you don't like the blitz, bro, but I need you to turn it up. I need you to blitz 30% of the time. I need you to blitz 30% of the time. I need you to go man-to-man maybe 30% of the time. If you want to run zone 40% of the time, okay, run it 40% of the time. But I need you to turn it up. I need blitzes. I need man-to-man. I need some different looks. Because right now you're telling us multiple, bro, and all we're seeing is singular. And so, man, Matt Eberflus just don't have the same luxury. Brian is downplaying it, but Dak Prescott is carrying. Dak Prescott is doing some incredible stuff, man. You just got to go check with all these guys are talking about how Dak is tearing it up.
John Machota with The Athletic. Tom Brady is calling your guys' game this week. He's obviously part of the ownership group with the Raiders.
Oh, no. Tom Brady is calling the game.
The other night he was up in the coach's box. You guys play the Raiders later in the year. How is that going to impact any pre-production type meetings that you have this week?
Yeah, I'm not even going to talk to Tom. No, hey, look, everybody has everybody's playbooks. Everybody knows somebody that's been someplace. I don't have a problem with it. Some people might. But, look, I'll talk to football with anybody. I love the game, and what Tom does with his ownership position is up to Tom. But in terms of me being concerned about something I might say to Tom, getting back to Pete or getting back to them, I think Pete and I know each other pretty well.
And then with Brandon Aubrey on game days, do you talk to him very much? Do you kind of just leave him alone? What's kind of your game day interaction with him?
Yeah, I don't talk to him too much. I talk to him usually before the game about, hey, which way would we like to kick off and things like that. As we get into some of these afternoon games, we'll be dealing with the sun, which is always a fun thing around here, as you guys know. But he did just get slimed. I don't know if you guys saw that. Nickelodeon was here, so that was pretty cool that he got slimed. He's probably still in the shower. But no, I kind of let Brandon go, and what an awesome young man.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. The cameras in the locker room after the game caught you doing a celebration with the guys, I guess calling out big plays and big moments. Where did that stem from, or is that something you kind of thought up over the offseason?
No, it's something that Pete did. He did a version of that. Gotta have fun, man. I was after Action Report, the music was not loud enough. We didn't even have the music going. So we got to the bottom of that because there'll be music blaring. You guys will hear it outside. But, man, pro football, you win a game, let's celebrate, man. And the guys loved it. They should love it. And it's, something that I believe is why you work so hard, why you stay up so late, why you put your body at risk, is to enjoy those moments. I'll say it again, the highs of winning can't compete with the lows of losing. because losing in this business is real, and losing in this business is tough.
And then Ben Johnson obviously still figuring out early on his tenure in Chicago. What can you appreciate about him as a play caller?
Well, again, I think we're all still trying to figure it out. I don't think that's fair just to say that, Nick, about Ben, but I think, what a creative mind, what a great coach. I remember when he was with Miami, then the next thing you know, he's coaching in Detroit, not even as a coordinator. Then the next thing you know, he is the coordinator, and they take off. I think he's going to do a great job with that team. And again, I laugh when people talk about playing the Bears and they're 0-2. I mean, this is a good football team, and they got talent.
Yeah, they're good.
Quarterback's young. They got weapons on offense. They got a good running back. On defense, the defensive line is big and physical. Grady's a great player. Linebackers and safeties, Kevin Byard's a great player. So, the league's where it should be, and that's anybody can beat anybody on a given Sunday, and a lot of respect for Ben.
Let me tell y'all something we need to be thankful for. I'm telling you, y'all are going to call me a prophet before this season is over. The addition of Kenny Clark, we can't even quantify the value of it. Teams play the Dallas Cowboys will no longer be able to say, we're going to run all over them. And then when we run over them, they're going to move up their linebackers. They're going to move up their safeties. And then we're going to catch their cornerbacks one-on-one. It's not happening no more. I don't care how good your run game is. Kenny Clark being added to this team with Oso Digizua is a problem for every single team that plays the Cowboys. I'm not going to say the only part. The part the Cowboys have now, I think they're going to figure out is with Jadeveon Clowney. Now they're going to figure out the pressure piece. I'm not going to be surprised if this week Matt Eberflus does dial up some more blitzes. And I think he's going to dial them up earlier. And the reason why I think he dials them up earlier is because you're going to have to do something with Caleb Williams. The Chicago Bears' problem isn't the team, it's Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson right now is furious with Caleb Williams, and there's nothing that he can really do about it. They've made him the franchise quarterback. But if Ben Johnson had his way, he would probably allow the backup to be the starting quarterback. Their issue is Caleb Williams. The Bears are very, very talented. But as long as the Cowboys can come out and get on top of the Bears, they're going to be fine. But that run game he's talking about, not going to happen. Nope, not going to happen. Kenny Clark, it is not going to happen. Even on the edges, it's not going to happen. Now, we can't get to the quarterback the way that we want to, but you're not running on the edges on us either like teams have been doing in the past. So we're still going to put almost every team in a position that you're going to have to beat us throwing. Issue is we got to get better. We got to get better on passing downs. But I'm telling us, man, Kenny Clark, every time you hear about these running teams, don't even sweat it. Kenny Clark is in the middle. They ain't doing nothing. Between him and Oso Digizua, they're not doing anything. Now that we got Jadeveon Clowney, very good run, very good against the run too, you don't have to worry about those runs. Only thing we need is to get a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. A little bit more pressure. Get them off their mark. Make them move around to throw the ball. Because I'm telling you, Caleb Williams is going to be, this dude is going to run on the Cowboys. They might as well get ready. The moment he smells pressure, he's running. That's his game. He's running. So that's going to be the big thing. Chicago is talented. Ben Johnson is probably, man, I'm just telling you, Ben Johnson is probably I'm going to give him top 5. He's probably one of the top 5 play callers in this league. If you watch the games against Detroit, with Detroit, and even watching some of the stuff they've even done just in the first 2 games with Chicago, I think I watched one of the games the week before last. Shoot, Ben Johnson is a play caller, man. But we better get ready. Ben Johnson is an absolute play caller. And I guarantee you, he's went and looked at tape on the Cowboys. Shoot. They better change it up. Because if not, man, we're in for another 30-point game. We in for another 30-plus point game battling against Chicago Bears. But yeah, Ben Johnson is talented. They're gonna have to make that. They're gonna have to make some serious adjustments on defense, which I'm confident they're going to do it. I think Jadeveon Clowney is going to do exactly what Matt Eberflus is looking for. Matt wants more people in coverage. That's what he wants. He wants more people in coverage. So, I think Clowney's going to help him do it.
One more, if I could. The elements are obviously going to be a big part of any game in Chicago. If there's a light chance of rain, is there anything y'all do extra this week to prepare for that type of element in Soldier Field?
We always do a little bit of wet ball. I don't go overboard with it. Some coaches like, hey, it's got to be a wet ball period, things like that. We'll do a little bit during stretch. You guys have seen our guys when we're going through the stretch lines and doing some of the plyometric stuff and things like that. We'll throw them balls, and the skill guys will catch some wet balls. But playing in the elements is part of the deal.
Now, light rain. Thankfully, we're not playing man, I'm telling you, whoever made these schedules, thank you for not letting us play Chicago later in the season. I heard the Chicago cold is different. Man, I heard the Chicago cold is different, bro. But I digress. Light rain. Kenny Clark, Javonte Williams. I'm not telling you anything new. I said this earlier. I'm not telling you anything new. Two things travel very well: defense and running games. They travel well. Kenny Clark and also Digizua in a wet game, they give your defense the advantage. Because you're not running up the middle on them. You're not running up the middle on this Cowboys team. You want to run to the edges in a wet game? We'll take it. Because a wet game kind of stops some of your cutback ability. We'll take it. Javonte Williams, a wet game? We'll take it. Because Javonte Williams, at this point, from everything I've seen, no flash, just a hard runner. He runs straight ahead. Hard runner. Whatever gap he's running in, that's where he's running. Runs hard. Runs with his head down. Man, I'm telling you. Defense and run games travel well. I am not worried about the Cowboys if it's a little bit wet out there. Not worried about it. Not worried about it at all. We got Jake Ferguson at the tight end position. Jake Ferg, time to catch, bro. Time to catch some of them short passes. It's time to catch some of them. If it's a little bit wet outside, Dak Prescott will still be able to muster about 250 yards. He'll still be able to muster it. Big thing in a game like this, what travels well, run games and defense. And I think as far as our D-line goes, we're good to go on the running. We're good to go on the running because if you got to rely more on the run, then I think we'll be fine this week because they don't seem to have a problem in the run game where their problem is in the pass game. And again, I think Eberflus is going to have to get pressure early on Caleb Williams. Because even Caleb Williams, with the first 15 plays being scripted, even Caleb Williams can do you some bad. Boy, he can do some harm to you too. Because it seems like he does really well until them scripted plays run out, and then it's a mess. So I think the Cowboys will be fine in the weather.
And I think you can overcoach it at times and make it too big of a deal. And then you kind of put it in guys' heads. You just go play. It's the same for both teams.
Tommy Yarsh, DallasCowboys.com. Knows just to walk through today, but what are you seeing from Jadeveon in terms of how he's digesting the playbook ahead of this week?
Yeah, I thought, I saw one error today where he was like, that's my bad. But more important than that is during one of the periods, I saw him coaching Isaiah Land. That was really, really cool. It was actually before we got kind of started. That's what we talked about. You bring in a guy that's a veteran player like that, not just because of his ability to play and affect the run and affect the quarterback. He affects the locker room in a positive way with his experience. And, I'm talking about simple pass rush techniques to a young player like Isaiah Land, I think is one of the other big benefits of having a veteran in here.
And then your quarterback guy, what stands out about Caleb Williams?
Athleticism, arm talent. You know, he's played a lot of football now. I think the ability to improvise, the ability to extend plays is very obvious. He's got weapons all over the field with DJ Moore and Rome. But again, the athleticism and the arm talent are probably the first two things that just populate. Okay, that's different.
Now, the problem is he does have some athleticism. The arm talent, Caleb Williams is either deadly accurate or deadly inaccurate. Take your choice. He's either deadly accurate or deadly inaccurate. And so the Cowboys can really go a long way towards helping him be inaccurate. They're just going to have to get after him. They're just going to have to get after him, period, in the story.
Ed Porter, WFAA. Two questions. First is, what did you like about having Flus as your defensive coordinator, and how has he handled this coming off a bad game, having to make whatever adjustments are necessary?
Yeah, well, I love having Flus as a coordinator. I think he's, number one, a terrific football coach. He's an incredible man, strong Christian, just a good person. He and I have competed a lot, but I've loved getting to know his wife and his daughters, and so I think that's important. But in terms of this week, I mean, it's no different, you know. He's put together a hell of a plan with his defensive staff. We're through mostly first, second, and third down. We'll finish up some more finalized third down tonight with them and jump into a little bit of the red zone and stuff. But I addressed it the other day. I think, you know, what Matt won't do and what DA won't do and Andre won't do, and those guys won't make this about them. It's got nothing to do with them. We're not going to line up and play a single snap. It's our job to put together a hell of a plan that gives our players the best chance to perform well. And when we do that, then we'll probably play well and have a chance to win in the fourth quarter, like most games come down to. But he's been great. You know, Flus is very much like this, and I think that's why, you know, he's so well respected around the league, because good, bad, or indifferent, he's going to be the same guy every day. And the guy up here talking to you is the same way. You know, I'm going to always try to be the same person every day.
I think the key, though, is that you're going to have to get Matt Eberflus to start putting, for example, we're killing Donovan Wilson. I understand why we're killing Donovan Wilson, but I also say I'm not going to play the devil's advocate. I'm going to play God's advocate. Let's also put Donovan Wilson in a position to win. The dude is just not, it doesn't mean when I say he's not a cover safety that he can't cover. But if you're just going to ask him to play in a zone defense to where there is no physicality on the wide receivers and the wide receivers get to run wherever they want to, and then you're telling me that Donovan Wilson is going to have to be the safety valve for Malik Neighbors running full speed down the field, and now he's got to turn and try to get his own speed up. If you're telling me that's what Donovan Wilson has to do, I'm going to tell you every single time, I don't care what you tell me, he's getting beat, and anybody else who tries to do the same thing is too. They're getting beat too. And I know people say, yeah, man, you know, you don't let Malik Neighbors play. You don't let him get behind you. Okay, so what do? Go stand in the end zone? I'm just saying, you gotta put your players in position to win. Put them in the best position to win. Understand what their strengths and weaknesses are, and don't ask them to do things. Just because a guy starts don't mean he don't have weaknesses. That don't mean he don't have weaknesses. Starters have weaknesses, period. End of story. I don't care who it is. Starters have weaknesses. You very rarely find even the greatest superstar that don't have some kind of weakness. It's harder to exploit. It's harder to exploit with a superstar player. But it doesn't mean that they don't have weaknesses. So you got to put every player in position to succeed. You put them in a position to succeed by utilizing their strength. Now, I know I always say, you know, in preaching, the growth is in the uncomfortability. Well, when you're talking about playing a game, you got to put your player in a situation to where, how do I utilize his strength and mask his weakness? Because everybody's got one. Every player has one. like I said, superstars a little harder to exploit.
He won't make it about him, but is there a little personal significance for him this week, the Bears?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. He'll want to perform well, but he doesn't have to do anything special to do that. He can just do his normal deal. Guy's an elite football coach. He knows the personnel. That's great. Coach the guys. You know, these meetings that we're getting ready to have now are really important because when you lose reps, physical reps, the meeting time is more important. You know, you have to make sure that they understand those things. And I think, again, you know, he does an incredible job at making corrections. That's one of the things I love, you know, outside.
I need to see more, Brian. We need to see more. If you're saying he makes corrections, then maybe the problem is he's not making them soon or quick enough. We need him to make more. We need him to make them sooner. And when I say we, the Dallas Cowboys, they need him to make them sooner. Not just when the game is on the line. How about you do it sooner so we don't even have to worry about the game being on the line? We're already in the lead comfortably. Man, Brian is really talking up, man. I understand what he's doing. I understand why he's doing it. He say he's an elite. Struggling with elite. Because to be elite for me, you got to have a skin on the wall. I mean, we have got to literally have seen your defense be absolutely elite to the point of we see the track record of this dude. This dude got a Super Bowl. Defensive coordinator, for example, for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, he's elite. It don't mean he don't get beat, but yeah, he's elite. We've seen him in 2 Super Bowls be absolutely elite. We've seen the defensive coordinator from the 49ers get to a Super Bowl, I believe. Elite. When I hear defensive coordinator, I hear Matt Eberflus, I don't think elite. Do I think good? Yeah, he's good. Elite? Not going there. And I disagree with Brian. Still rolling with Brian. But I disagree with Brian. No. Matt is going to have to do some things different to beat Chicago. You know why? Chicago knows Matt Eberflus too. They know him too. And some of them don't have a high regard for him. They know Matt Eberflus too. No, he's going to have to do some things different, I believe. In order to really beat Chicago, I think he's going to have to do something different. Not to mention, bro, hey, brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. This dude, Ben Johnson, I'm telling you, Ben Johnson is an incredible play caller. He's an incredible play caller, and he knows it. He knows it. We know it. The league knows it. Ben Johnson is an incredible play caller. And 0 and 2. I think this has a lot to do with him and Caleb Williams. And yeah, I think it's an important game for Matt Eberflus. And I do think he needs to do something different to beat Chicago. Because if he does what he's done the last 2 weeks, you watch what I tell you. The only way we're beating Chicago, Dak Prescott and this offense going to have to put up 35 plus points again.
Inside my office is the skillet, we call it, you know, a little walk-through area, and they're out there all the time. It's called the skillet because it's so damn hot out there. It's like being in a sauna. But, you know, he's always out there with his guys making corrections, and I think, you know, that's a great area because a lot of these guys, that's how they learn, man. They learn doing, and you don't have to run around full speed all the time to do it.
Dave Loffmer, 105.3 The Fan and Cowboys Radio Network. Two-part question, if you don't mind, but the Bears have gone on long drives. First drive of the game, scored touchdowns. You talked about your need to start faster. Do you even mention that to your team, or are you cognizant of that, or just we'll do our thing?
No, we mentioned it. Yeah, I mentioned it to him the other day that we got to start faster. You know, you can't, you know, defer and then have the defense out there for 18 plays. So it's
one of the problems with Matt Eberflus's defense. It's bend, don't break. His defenses give up long drives. They give up long drives. So unless he's going to change and get more aggressive early, it'll be more of the same. Now, in a Matt Eberflus defense, a field goal is a victory. Matt Eberflus's defenses are predicated and dependent upon the offense of his team scoring touchdowns while his defense holds teams to field goals. Now, for the most part, it hasn't worked. It worked in the second half of the Philadelphia game. He held Philadelphia to 3 points. It did not work in the New York Giants game. They scored 37 bleeping points. The long drives are just a part of, unless Schotty tells Matt Eberflus, and it sounds like that's what he's telling him, we got to start faster. No, Matt, you got to start faster. You have got to get offenses off the field. You have got to do it. That's how the Cowboys start fast. I have no question that their offense can start fast. But again, if they're going to spend half of a quarter on the bench, man, they don't got warmed up before the game. They got to get warmed back up again. Because we know that 7.5 minutes of a football quarter isn't actual 7.5 minutes. You're talking about almost half an hour. The only way you start fast is you're going to have to be more aggressive. And I'm telling you, they're going to have to dial up some blitzes, man. Big Rombowski, he's in here. What's going on, Big Rombowski? Big Rombowski said you don't have to blitz all the time. He said you don't have to blitz. You don't have to be a heavy blitz team, but you still need the other team to know that you might blitz. Otherwise, you keep letting them have their whole playbook all game long. Big Rombowski. And I'm telling us, Ben Johnson's playbook is dangerous. Tristan York, appreciate that super chat. Tristan York, if you've noticed, I've been making this point. I've been making this point for the last 2 days. Malik Neighbors is one of them. DEM, that's what I called him yesterday. He one of them. If you're not going to let Trayvon Diggs get his hands on Malik Neighbors or any of the other cornerbacks and let him take inside position on your cornerback and put him up against your safety, I don't care who it is. They are toast. They are absolutely toast. So, yeah, he one of them. He one of them. I still don't think they should have ramped up Trayvon Diggs the way that they did. I think they did it out of necessity, but I don't think they should have done it. But DeRon Bland not being there, I guess it was out of necessity. My man Ron Hanna, he said Brian needs to tell Eberflus, yep, dial up more pressure. I would blitz the Bears on first down and get them behind the chains. Yeah, I don't agree with Brian on this. Bro, if you're going to beat the Bears, Matt Eberflus is going to have to do some things different because just like he knows their personnel, they know him too. The personnel knows him too. Not to mention Ben Johnson, man, this dude is another dude that has a look in his eyes. I would prefer Ben Johnson to wear shades if he's talking to me and looking at me. He has a very evil look. I bet this dude eats, breathes, and just drinks football.
Important. There's no magic button that says, hey, we're going to start fast. You talk about it. You really emphasize the openers. You emphasize your third down calls on defense. You emphasize the special team stuff. And, but there's no real magic way to do that. So you don't over talk about it, but we do have to start faster.
And then you may be falling on the sword play before the half, but does Dak have the ability to go to each side there? I know you motioned Ferguson across and then Donovan flat. Can he go either way?
I'm not going to give you the answer to that question just because it's a game management thing. But no, I'm being honest. If Dak messed up, I'd tell you Dak messed up. But I totally, that was me. I did not communicate well enough to him, and Dak doesn't make those mistakes. And I think we've proven that we're pretty damn good in game management. Feeder does a great job, getting down into position for the go-ahead kick. Had the one against Philadelphia, but that one was all on me, just not communicating and having him hear the word that puts him into that mindset. So totally on me.
Garrett
Puddell, CBS.
Yeah, I know what this guy's doing. He's trying to put it on Dak Prescott that maybe Dak Prescott could have went somewhere else, and got that feel, so that Ferguson is not, I think he's tackled in bounds or whatever the case may be, and it kind of messed up what they wanted to do, what they have. But Brian Schottenheimer's already let this cat out of the bag. The reason why he's saying it's on him is because he said when they need plays, they don't think of plays, they think of players. So Brian is saying something. I didn't necessarily call a play right there. I called a player right there. So if he calls a player right there, we already know where Dak's mind is, and I'm pretty sure most quarterbacks' minds are here too. If you're calling a player, then I'm going to that player. If you call a player, I'm going to that player. If you call a play, then I'm going to go with the play, and then I'm going to find who's open on the play, if that makes sense. Brian has already said that's kind of how they call plays. When you need a play, you call a player. You don't call a play.
Boards, Brian, guys obviously change teams every year, but how valuable is Flus's intel on having coached the Bears the last few years to preparing this week?
Well, he knows the players. We brought him in and had him talk to the offensive staff about the players. He has great respect for a lot of those guys that were there. But again, they're always adjusting. This is a different defense. It's a different philosophy. It's, run a different way. But, I haven't played against, Grady in a couple years. I haven't played Montez Sweat since he was at Washington. So the knowledge of those guys and some of the things that they do and their strengths and weaknesses, which most of them have more strengths and weaknesses, it's good to know that information. It helps.
Now, as he talks about the personnel, let me tell you one player that I think that this is going to come into, it's going to be an advantage for us. The one player that Matt Eberflus knows is Caleb Williams. That's the player I'm concerned about that he knows. Matt Eberflus knows this guy's mind, how it works. He knows. He knows how Caleb Williams' mind works. He knows what frustrates him, flusters him. He knows those things. He saw it up close and personal. I don't care about knowing all those other guys, the guys on defense, all that. That's good too. That should be good for us. But the thing that's the best for us, Caleb Williams seems to be a little bit of a head case, man. Caleb Williams seems to be a little bit of a head case. I think this may be the game that we see Brian making a lot of different calls based on the fact that he knows who this dude is. You got to get it. You got to get in Caleb Williams' head. You get inside of his head, you'll be good to go.
Go.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. Kicking can be such a mental game. Brandon Aubrey, teammates have called him unflappable. One, do you agree with that kind of sentiment? And two, what could that do in terms of the long-term stability of a kicker in his career moving forward?
Yeah, I think, he's just confident, man, and that's what you want. We've talked a lot about it, but it's worth continuing to say, it's the operation is not just him. It's the three amigos, I guess you will, with Trent snapping and Banger holding, but whether you want to call it confident, unflappable, whatever it is, I mean, he goes out there and expects to make every kick, and he should, because he's that talented.
I don't believe you and Eberflus crossed paths on the same team until this.
Me and Matt?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, just competed.
Yeah, so what did you, in terms of when you were interviewing him and getting to know him, what did you want to learn, after the Chicago experience? What were you trying to find out about Matt Eberflus?
Well, first, more about the man. Again, like I said, I wanted to find out about his wife and, his daughters. And one of them was married. One of them spent training camp with us. And but the football philosophy is what matters. Because, again, look, I can't be in every defensive meeting. I have to be in the offensive meetings and be ready to call the game. And so I get in there as much as I can. I'll watch the film with those guys when I can. But the philosophy just made sense. I'm a multiple guy on offense. He's a multiple guy on defense. I'm a guy that wants to use your personnel. I'm a guy that wants to use your personnel. I'm a guy that believes in taking care of the ball. He wants to take away the football. Just when we continued our conversations hour upon hour upon hour, it was very clear that the two of us see football the same way. I was a KU guy for a year. He's a Missouri guy. So that was kind of a cool little tie-in. But no, I mean, the guy is an incredible man and an incredible football coach that we're lucky to have.
You know, and I'm going to emphasize this again. Brian Schottenheimer, though, Brian Schottenheimer is so blessed. Brian Schottenheimer has the personnel to be multiple. Brian Schottenheimer has the personnel to be multiple. He can run 11, 12, 13 personnel. He can be multiple. This dude on offense, I just want y'all to think about what Matt Eberflus has on, not Matt Eberflus. I want you to think about what Brian Schottenheimer is saying, and we got to really understand how different this is for him and Matt Eberflus. On offense, Brian Schottenheimer not only has a top 5 quarterback, Matt Eberflus on defense has a top 3 wide receiver, which CeeDee Lamb is the number 1 receiver in the league for me. You got a number 1 receiver. You got a top 10 tight end, even though a lot of us wouldn't agree. You got a top 10 tight end. You got a top 10 wide receiver in George Pickens. Then turn around, you got one of the fastest players in the league in Cavonte Turpin. Then in the running game, at least through 2 games, you have one of the best running backs, one of the hardest running backs in the league right now in Javonte Williams. Cooper Beebe, he's hurt. But before Cooper Beebe, you got what? Top 5 center in this league. Ty Smith, you got the best guard in the league. Tyler Booker is going to be probably in the running for the Rookie of the Year. Minus Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele. This dude, Brian Schottenheimer, has something that most rookie coaches don't get. He has the personnel to do whatever he wants to do. Name me something that Brian Schottenheimer can't do with that personnel. Name it. He can run it, he can throw it, and might I add, he has the best kicker in the league. He gets to the 50-yard line, it's 3 points. Yeah, he can be multiple. Brian Schottenheimer can be multiple. But when I think about Matt Eberflus, well, what does Matt Eberflus have on the other side? I would say that he probably has a top 5 defensive tackle tandem in the league. Oso Digizua and Kenny Clark are a top 5 defensive tackle duo. But then when I get to the outsides, rookie and Donovan Ezeraku, veteran in Dante Fowler, who has not lived up to the billing, Sam Williams, coming off injury, James Houston, coming off injury, needs way more snaps, but looks really good. Marshawn Nealon, coming off injury. Jack Sanborn, coming from Chicago, and people are questioning whether or not he should be a starter. Murray Jr., a lot of people were like, questioning that one. Overshown is hurt. You just think about what Matt Eberflus is working with. Okay, he's got DeRon Bland, unproven Elam at this point. Even though I really love Elam, I think Elam is doing a good job. Trayvon Diggs, coming off injury. Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson, more of in-the-box safeties.
Sitting.
Do y'all know the reality is Matt Eberflus doesn't have the luxury. He just doesn't have the luxury of being as multiple, quote unquote, and versatile as Brian Schottenheimer. Man, Brian Schottenheimer sitting in the catbird seat right now. He is sitting in the catbird seat. And the offense for Brian Schottenheimer is not only one of the best offenses in the league, I think it'll be top 3 before it's all said and done. We still got things that we're sitting on top of that may absolutely catapult this offense to being the #1 offense in the league. Man, I don't care what nobody telling me about Jordan Blue and not being able to read the playbook. Man, I don't care what nobody telling me. Put this dude out there and tell him to run to the left, run to the right, or run up the middle. You don't put 4.3 speed on the bench. This dude can do almost anything he wants to do. Tell me the personnel that Matt Eberflus has on defense right now, other than Kenny Clark and Oso Digizua. Outside of those two, tell me on the defense that you are just saying, yeah, man, superstars. Trayvon Diggs ain't no superstar. I said it. Trayvon Diggs used to be a superstar. He can be a superstar. But we got to be honest. Trayvon Diggs ain't no superstar. Deron Bland is a year removed from being a superstar. We're trying to hope he's going to get back to being a superstar. But where are the superstars? Brian Schottenheimer has superstars on the offensive side of the ball. Man, this dude can do almost anything he want to do. Matt Eberflus, let me tell you why this dude is running 100% zone, 97% zone. I don't think he's confident in the personnel. Period in the story. I don't think he's confident in the personnel. If Matt was more confident in the personnel, I just have to believe he would be doing things a lot differently. I don't think he believed Trayvon Diggs can play bump and run. I don't think he believes Trayvon Diggs can play man-to-man. We saw what happened when he tried to do it last year. People can tell me anything they want to about Trayvon Diggs. I watched the tape. I watched the games before he got hurt. And that dude was post-toasties. You can show me any stats you want to. Trayvon Diggs, did he have games? Yes, he had games. But Trayvon Diggs ain't been that Trayvon Diggs before that injury and before that contract. We ain't seen that Trayvon Diggs. I'm telling us, Matt Eberflus don't have superstars on the side of the defense the way we would want him to. He don't have superstars. Also, Digizua and Kenny Clark are the superstars. That's it. Mozzie was supposed to be a superstar. He's not. We traded MP. He's a superstar. We traded him. Matt can't do some of the things that Brian can do. And so that's why I hope Jerry, and I believe Jerry is, he's got to continue to bring him more help on the defensive side of the ball. Because this is what I was talking about when the season was getting going. I really thought Jerry did a lot of good things on the defense. The problem is the defensive things he's gotten has not developed. I'm not going to say they haven't worked. It's only 2 games. They haven't developed yet. I do think once they start getting Maurice Leofau more snaps, James Houston deserves more snaps. Once they get Overshown back, once they get Savon Revel Jr. healthy, I think the Cowboys are going to come into their own defensively. But we're going to have to weather the storm until then.
Coach Sidney Staples, D210 Sports. Although it's a different Bears team and it's a different coaching staff, do you go to a player like Kenny Clark and Coach Eberflus and ask them for their overall knowledge on the franchise in general?
You know, Flus, you do, just because, I think, I'm a little bit different. Like, I don't bring the players into it as much. I just think you got to let the players be players. Coaches, this is what we do. A lot of times we do it over a cup of coffee while we're waiting, for scripts to get printed or something like that. But I have not talked to Kenny about his knowledge of Chicago. He obviously knows them very, very well. He actually did beat Tyler Smith. So today's Competition Wednesday. You guys didn't know, but Competition Wednesday. And since we didn't have a competitive period in practice, we had to declare a winner by a free throw shooting competition. And in a stunning upset, Kenny Clark beat Tyler Smith in overtime, 3-2. So, but I didn't talk to Kenny about it. I just feel like, do I need to ask Dak about certain things? No, let Dak play quarterback. Do I need to ask CD? Do I need to ask Kenny? No, it doesn't mean I wouldn't. But I don't feel like you have to put those guys in those positions. But I'm also very willing to listen to players with suggestions. So if Kenny came up to me, I would stop what I'm doing and listening. There was a practice late in training camp where CD came up to me about something, a route adjustment that he saw. We went right to it, and he scored a touchdown. So under no circumstance am I saying I can't gather a lot of information from players. I just don't believe you put them into a position where you make them have to feel like they're giving you information, because some players don't want to talk about their former teams and their knowledge of other people.
Wait, hold on a second. Are we talking about Kenny Clark? Am I missing something on Kenny Clark? Okay, I had to get my mind together. Kenny Clark played the Chicago Bears twice a year. Okay, I had to get my mind together on this. I'm like, wait a minute, why would we be asking Kenny? Okay, I got it. I had to think for a minute. I'm like, why in the world are we asking him about Kenny Clark and the Chicago Bears? Okay, I get it now. He played against the Chicago Bears twice a year. I get it. Okay.
Have players come up to you, in any case, I know we're so many weeks into the season, but to tell you, hey, we know this about this team, etc., or not so much quite yet?
Yeah, I think in passing, nothing crazy, but yeah, I think in passing. And again, like I said, I'm all ears. If they want to come to me, I'm all ears. I just don't want to make them come in on a Tuesday and, hey, let's talk about X, Y, Z.
Okay, got to run.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I think in passing.
Great conversation with Brian Schottenheimer. I like Shotty. I see what Shotty is doing. Shotty isn't wanting to give up a lot of. He's not one to give up. What he's gonna do and all that type of stuff. I get it. I'm with it. And I know he's not gonna go in here and tell the media that he ripped Matt Eberflus. That's not his style and all of those different things. But they're going to have to do something different this week against Chicago, guys. We're going to start talking about that tomorrow. We're going to be all Chicago Bears and Dallas Cowboys. We're going to be looking at things from the local beat writers over in Chicago while we're listening to our guys too. So we're going to be checking that out. But I'm telling us, no, Matt Eberflus is going to have to do something different to beat Chicago. Even if it wasn't the fact that he played or coached Chicago, man, I'm telling us, Ben Johnson is a play caller, man. Ben Johnson is a play caller. That dude is a mad scientist. He's a mad scientist. Mark Davis said, G, you said it best. Michael gets plays off of athleticism more than scheme-wise. See, that's what they're missing. That's what, we're not gonna be disingenuous, are we, Mark Davis? He's got to start calling plays like he doesn't have Michael Parsons anymore. It's okay to say that, guys. It's okay to say that. Michael Parsons wasn't an on-the-field issue. Michael Parsons was more of an off-the-field issue. Michael Parsons could make some of the bad plays look good. He could make some of the bad plays look good. The only problem with Michael Parsons is, but he was also a player that was easier to scheme against. Why? Smaller. We shouldn't even call him a defensive end because he didn't even want to be called a defensive end in the player agreement. He's an edge rushing linebacker. That's what he is. And the Cowboys lined him up pretty much on one side. He decided to line up on one side. He was easier to scheme against. Teams could take him out of games by double teaming him. They could take him out of games by running at him. But from time to time, we saw it on full display. He would overpower, outmaneuver, get to the quarterback, flush him out, chase him down. That's Michael Parsons. Athletic freak, very athletically gifted player. Absolute. We're not going to sit up here and be disingenuous. But that's okay he's gone. Because I think the Cowboys are better for it as a team. So now what they have to start doing, Matt Eberflus has to start doing is saying, okay, we don't have Michael Parsons. We no longer have Michael Parsons. So now it's even more important for me to make sure my scheme is right. Because now where I got to make up for Michael Parsons, and this is the part that we have to be okay with saying. Now that I don't have Micah Parsons, my scheme has to be so good, and I got to scheme some of the things that Micah Parsons was getting with his athleticism. Michael was making plays outside of the scheme. That's why Zimmer finally said, no longer going to put him in the scheme. Y'all remember when Zimmer said this? No longer going to put him in the scheme. I've told Michael to line up where he want to, do what he want to. You know what he said? Let me translate. He's no longer in the scheme. We have 10 players in the scheme and one player do what he want to do. Because his athleticism is so good. We'll let him work outside the scheme. So Matt Eberflus has to understand, I don't have that no more. So now my scheme, it's even more important that I have to scheme. See, now think about this. This is where Zimmer fell off the boat. Zimmer didn't have to scheme quarterback pressure. Because Michael Parsons outside the scheme got quarterback pressure. But do you know what Mike Zimmer had to scheme? Mike Zimmer had to scheme stopping the run. He had to scheme stopping the run. And it didn't work. It worked some of the time, but it didn't work. So now Matt Eberflus is on the opposite end of the spectrum. I don't have to scheme stopping the run anymore. Kenny Clark and Oso Diggy are in the middle. I don't have to scheme stopping the run. My linebackers, I got a better linebacking crew. They may not be superstars. I have a better linebacking crew. I don't have to scheme stopping the run. This linebacking crew, for the most part, has been good at stopping the run. But what I do have to scheme, now I got to scheme quarterback pressure, which now we're going to see what Jadeveon Clowney looks like. We got to make sure we don't go in this thing tripping, talking about, yeah, Jadeveon Clowney better come in this week. He better get 3 sacks. He very well could. But got to give him about 3 games. 3 games, he'll be at full speed, I believe. He's an old savvy veteran. We've seen him do it in the past. He's come in first game and just wreck shop. And I think he's going to still make a huge difference against Chicago. But I think I think the Green Bay game is where he's really going to come alive. It's a primetime game. I think Jadeveon Clowney loves the lights. I think Jadeveon Clowney is going to come alive in the Green Bay Packer game. But nevertheless, this is where Matt Eberflus is. Matt Eberflus, where Zimmer had to scheme stopping the run, he's got to scheme quarterback pressure because he can stop the run. And I think they'll do it this week. I think he'll do it. All right. I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. It's time to go preach the Lord. And if I'm feeling up to it, I may come back tonight. I said Thursday night is going to be Cowboys After Dark. But I might come back tonight. I might come back tonight and do Cowboys After Dark. So, appreciate it. All right, I appreciate it. Again, if I don't come back tonight, we'll definitely be back tomorrow. We're going to be back tomorrow with 2 big time shows. We're going to be doing Cowboys versus the Cowboys versus the Bears. We're going to be looking at all the matchups. We're going to look at some film. We're going to listen to some interviews. We'll be doing that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday until the big day on Sunday. So, and we will do Cowboys After Dark on Thursday. But if I'm feeling up to it tonight, y'all set that notification bell because I may be doing Cowboys After Dark tonight because there are a few more things I want to get in before tomorrow. So again, until the next time, God bless DC4L. Let's talk Cowboys when we talk facts. Peace.